The NASDAQ 100 may be killing it right now, but if you're making any of these 5 worst trading mistakes and you're trading TQQQ, you're probably still losing money. Let's see what we can do today to turn that around. On Mastering TQQQ Trading today, we're going to talk about the 5 worst mistakes you can make when trading TQQQ. Mistake number 1, buying after a large gap up at the opening bell. And I want to show you an example that occurred on September 5th, 2025, when TQQQ gapped up $2.51 to $93.94 from the previous day's close. We had a good jobs report that morning, but look what happened after it opened up so high. It started to fall, made a little bit of a recovery, but could not make new highs, and continued falling all the way down until it hit $89.69. It then recovered, but it only finished the day at $91.82. If you had bought the open, you lost about $2 per share that day. And what's worse is if you bought the open and then got out, once it went down to $90 or $89, you would have lost even more than that. So the last thing we want to do is we want to buy after the large gap up at the opening, because it's usually a mistake. The markets are going to be overbought at that point, and probably most likely we're going to just lose a lot of money. So let's avoid that mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is allowing FOMO to dictate when you trade. Now, FOMO, of course, stands for fear of missing out. And in the example that we showed in the first mistake slide, buying after a large gap up, it's usually FOMO that is what's making people buy when it jumps up so much, because there's always a feeling that, well, if it moved up $2 or $3 from the opening, that it's just going to keep going, and I'm going to miss out if I don't jump in right now. But unfortunately, we saw what happened with that. The worst thing to do is to allow FOMO to dictate when we make a trade. You are far better off letting the market come to you, even if you have to wait until the end of the day or the middle of the day or even the next day or the next week to trade. Mistake number 3 is buying TQQQ when the 2-period RSI is over 95. If we look at this chart here, you can see the green on the top of this chart. Those are all the places and times when the 2-period RSI was above the overbought status, which of course starts a little bit lower here at 70, but by the time we get to 95 or higher, we've pretty much cooked the trade. And in many cases, the RSI was about 97 or 98 when it peaked, and then we get the inevitable downslide in price. The worst one, of course, was back here in March when we had the tariff scare in the market, and of course we came all the way down. Even though we went back up a little bit, we came all the way down on this TQQ. We lost probably $30 on the TQQ that time. So what we want to do is we want to trade this until we get up into that green level, and then watch carefully. When you hit 95, start thinking about putting in your stop loss orders pretty close to your trade. And if we get to 97 or 98, you definitely want to get out. Mistake number 4 is buying when the technical indicators are falling from their overbought positions. If you look at this chart of TQQQ, we had a peak in price right about here, and you can see that the RSI also was quite overbought at that time, as well as the stochastic indicator. Well, if you stay in there, you're going to have a risk of a pullback, and that's going to be greater than the potential for future gains. So if we have a nice trade and we've made a nice profit, this is always a good time to take our profits. Do not trade, and do not make the mistake of thinking just because it's come down a little bit in price and the technical indicators have fallen down into the neutral zone that this is a good time to trade, because typically what happens with TQQQ is that it will go all the way down from way overbought to way oversold before it bottoms out. Mistake number 5 is buying before the bottom is in place. When you see consecutive red candlesticks where the trade is going lower and lower each time, then we don't have a bottom yet. And if you're buying somewhere around here thinking, well, we've had 4 or 5 or 6 candlesticks in a row, maybe it's time to buy. No, you're going to be mistaken, because we haven't hit a bottom. We continue making lower lows and lower highs. So we never want to buy before the bottom is in place. Always wait until you see that bottom. And how will you know the bottom? Here is what a real bottom looks like. On this particular trade, we were making lower lows, lower highs. We come all the way down. We have a bottom here where the lows are consecutive on 2 different candles, but we have a green candle here. Now, we did go up on the next candle, but it didn't sustain, and we did come back, but we made a third bottom where the lows were just about the same. This one may have even been a little bit higher than these two, and after that we started a move up. So if you want to buy after a big pullback, anywhere in here would have made a profitable move for you as it continued higher. What is a good trade? Well, making a good trade is about getting in and out of TQQQ at opportune times, not about how much money you make on any one particular trade. In the screen before, making a trade here would have been a good trade. Making a trade up here would not have been such a good trade. When you are trading well, the money will follow. Well, if you like what you saw today, please make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And by the way, I've got a course that I teach called Mastering TQQ Trading, and we've got another one coming up very soon, so be sure to click on that link as well. I've got a Facebook group too, and it's called Trading TQQQ, and you're welcome to join that if you're on Facebook. So try not to make any of those 5 mistakes that I've just highlighted for you. Doesn't matter whether you're a beginner trader, an intermediate, or an advanced trader, we are all still likely to make mistakes from time to time. But the more that you can avoid these kinds of mistakes, the better off your trading is going to be. Well, that's it for this time. Next time we meet, I'm going to show you how to make better trades. Bye for now.